Kwong is founded by my late grandfather, Mr. T.Y. Chow, in 1952, with some of his friends from Shanghai as a consortium. And then ultimately, the family acquired the shares back, and then it became a family-owned business.
In the late 1940s, when there was the exodus from China to Hong Kong, which really was the beginnings of modern Hong Kong in many respects with the influx of people from China, there were a number of very well-positioned Shanghai merchants, bankers who came down to Hong Kong, and they were the nucleus of the Hong Kong shipping industry. But the real birth of the modern Hong Kong shipping industry really came in the period from 1948 to the early 50s, when family companies, the Tungs, the Koos, the Pows, the Chows, all set up their shipping enterprises in Hong Kong. And that formed the basis of the very vibrant Hong Kong shipping community that we have today.
When we started, we were in the ownership of bulk carriers, mainly second-hand bulk carriers. And then in the mid-1960s, we started acquiring our new buildings coming from Japan. When the shipping crisis and the oil crisis in the mid-80s hit the world, it affected our company amongst many other shipping companies as well. And luckily, with the support of our clients and our financiers, we managed to come out of that crisis. And to this day, we are still very much a ship owner. We still very much stick to the core of what we know, except that today we are not only in bulk carriers, we also own oil tankers and gas carriers as well. So these are the main three sectors that we straddle.
We've found that having three legs to our operation effectively gives us some security in changing markets. For example, at the moment, the tanker and the bulk carrier markets are very weak, but the LPG market is actually quite buoyant. So that's holding things up quite well. Yes, you could say that we don't specialise in a particular sector. Well, we specialise in the carriage of cargoes for major commodity users and providing a first-class shipping service to companies who need commodities. And by coming to Kwong, they can talk to us about building a specific ship for a specific trade, or they can guarantee that if we do actually provide them with a ship, that will be able to provide them with a reliable transportation service for years to come. We work on the basis of having long-term relationships with our customers.
You have to take a very long-term view, and that's why Kwong, given that we are a family business and we are privately owned as well, we are resilient because we are allowed to do what's best for the business model.
Because the advantage of being private is that, unlike a listed company where your shareholders are demanding a growth story and an increased dividend every quarter, and in shipping in particular, it is often a very good thing to do nothing and stay put for a few months. And that is one of the beauties of actually being a private company.
Family members, by nature, we think long term. We're committed, obviously, to the company, to the name, to the legacy. But at the same time, mixing personal and business, it's very difficult. And sometimes being in the midst of all this, it's very hard to tell one from the other. And that's where professional management really comes in.
We have a team of professional managers internally. We have non-executive directors from the outside who very much keep us on our toes and add enormous value to the company.
I think the sense of loyalty is still very important within the company. But where it's changing now, it's the whole relationship, the culture is becoming more energetic, more dynamic, and more accepting. And I think it will constantly evolve.
Kwong traditionally has always built its ships as opposed to buying the ships in the second-hand market. This means that we actually have a higher degree of control over the technical specification, and it means we're really always at the forefront of shipbuilding technology. We're operating a very modern fleet of ships. The average age of our fleet is under 4 years old. And our intention is to provide a first-class shipping service to commodity companies who have to get their goods to their markets and to their consumers. What I would want to see Kwong as going forward over the next decade and the decades to come is to continue to be a globally respected company that you can rely on as a carrier of your goods and who are always going to be there and provide a reliable service.